It's time. It's time to go into the bone zone. We're gonna watch CitizenCon 2953, Navigating the Universe, and this is the UI update for how we navigate both on foot and in the stars. So, pretty big panel, pretty important panel. So ships are a pretty big deal, right? And but so is FPS, and the locations are huge, and we have so many quality of life things that we would like with that system, and almost all of them I think came into this and more. So it was pretty exciting watch. I'm gonna Bone, start the video. There he is.
How you doing, Los Angeles?
There he is.
Boy, there's a lot of you here. It's great to see you. Hi. My name's David, but everyone calls me Bone. Don't ask. Or maybe ask me later. So, my job is to oversee all the technical implementation of the UI across the company. And if I'm lucky, I get to do some programming from time to time. At previous CitizenCon, one in the flesh, in Manchester, I talked about UI tech with my friend and colleague, Zain Bien.
I can't remember. What even did they go over then?
We're making new tools and technology to help our developers with to develop their UI.
Was it just
So that was a few years ago now, and now I'm really privileged to share with you how this technology is being utilized by our talented designers to help improve your experience in the verse. So, along with some of my UI friends that are hidden out the back there, we'd like to show you some of these improvements which are going to help you, the players, navigate the Star Citizen universe. So,
this starts off really slow, and I know this panel went way longer than they were expecting it to.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Because the
Star
UI
Citizen
sucks.
is big, really big. There's so many unique places, massive planets, moons, space stations, rest stops, you know, there's just loads of places to explore.
Because the current UI is terrible.
We have a huge range of spaceships of all shapes and sizes. And there's an enormous amount of things to do and see and people to meet. And all this can be shared with friends online.
Friends.
And as we've seen today, as our amazing online technology grows, it takes great leaps, and our online player count grows, the possibilities become almost endless. So how are we going to make sense of all this?
Bro, every game says they have endless possibilities, but that's never true. Every game says that, I feel like.
One of the main ways we do this is with a user interface, or UI for short. Well, that's where we come in, fortunately, being the UI guys. And we do this in loads of ways that you see already.
There's been a lot of contention around this, actually. I think the UI does look better. I see that in chat. But we used to be able to see the inside of our helmets and keep an eye on how things look now. I personally prefer this.
Whether it's
but a lot of people seem like they didn't.
Or the hood, or the kiosks where you get your spaceship, or you trade commodities, or buy weapons, and all manner of diegetic UIs that you see. Diegetic meaning like things in the world that you can interact with. But our first real opportunity is through the helmet visor display. Now, the visor display gives you vital information about your status and the environment around you. But this display has gone through many iterations.
Literally the best UI that we had was way back then, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse
Over the years, and it's been built upon and adapted. And I don't know if who remembers Arena Commander 1.0 that came out.
One guy.
That came out about.
Everyone else died since then, and it's all new backers. Everyone died waiting for this game to come out.
A year after I started, which was primarily space combat and racing, so the visor was geared towards that. And then it evolved with our first adventures into the online universe. And as all the features get added and all these new things, the visor grows and we put things on it to show you, different statuses and tells you all about what's going on. But with all this evolution, we sometimes lose focus. There's so much we need to know.
Yeah.
And when we need to know it is important.
Right? And in a game like this, there's just, you got spaceships, you're out of your spaceship, you got guns, you got food, you got drink, you got medical, it's just like there's a lot of things that need to be shown.
So how do we zero in on what's important? And at what time?
Yeah, the everything game is getting in the way a little bit here.
Leaning on this technology that Zane and I and the UI tech team wrote a few years ago, we're trying to take a smarter perspective and rework the visor for you. So I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm going to invite Simon Bursey onto the stage, and he can tell you more about it. Simon?
Come on, Simon.
You on this?
Hey, everybody. Okay, so Star Citizen, as you know, is a big project which has evolved over its lifetime.
Their audio.
In the project, we added the visor, which is the display you see on your helmet when you're walking around the universe in first person.
No food and drink drinks
still
still there.
The game is always expanding. We often add new gameplay features, and with those come new UI. The various teams slotted pieces into whatever place made sense at the time, but this eventually meant the view became very complex.
Oh, I get to pause now. Anything new? What is HPA? Is this pressure? Is this a pressure measurement? It looks like it. And then obviously you have your radiation, right? And that's your oxygen. And we just have different versions of that. Okay.
Complex.
Hectopascal. Okay. Fucking relax in chat, guys. We don't need to. How? If I ask what HPA is and you say hectopascal or whatever that is, how the fuck does that help me? Yeah, is that the Mandalorian guy?
As you can see, the current live UI can get very cluttered. We have lots of information competing for your attention, so you don't always know where to look, and sometimes the overlaps can make things difficult to read. So, as you can probably tell, the UI team wanted to do a redesign. We wanted to improve the player's experience by presenting the important information in a clear way. We also needed to create a new framework that supports all the existing features and allows us to add more in future. And finally, we wanted to bring the visuals up to the high standard we're setting for Squadron 42 and soon the Star Citizen Persistent Universe. So how do we go about that? I believe user interface should always be a collaboration with the teams who build the underlying features. So we worked closely with them on a new layout, keeping some pieces, combining others, and maybe getting rid of a few. Once we'd figured out the design, we built a new framework using our 3D UI system.
Bro, whatever this is, I don't like.
And then we worked closely with the various game teams.
I think it looks weird.
To take all that complex data that existed before and hook it up to the new user interface.
I know what they are, just the shapes and stuff.
When we designed player-facing UI, we often tried to start with the worst case first, so we can see everything we have to deal with.
It looks like controller UI. I did see a lot of people say that. Let's go back for a second and just take a look at it. I think because people see A, B, they think that means it's a controller UI thing. But and you got lorem ipsum up here. You have your icons there. I think this is just to represent it's just markup, guys. Like it's this is where your ammo would be. It's all just placeholder stuff, and everyone's like, I saw the letter A, the letter B, now console. Like, listen, I think we all know consoles are coming just because of what Sandy said. But
and then we worked closely with the various game teams to take all that complex data that existed before and hook it up to the new user interface.
Exactly. Good point. It's not even a real UI. You could see the old UI underneath on some of it, like right there.
Work using our 3D UI system. And then we worked closely with the various game teams
value A and
to
B.
take all that complex data that existed before and hook it up to the new user interface. When we designed player-facing UI, we often tried to start with the worst case first, so we can see everything we have to deal with. It was important for us to keep the central area as clear as possible to make it easier for you to see the underlying game. We designed a set of regions that attach to the different parts of the view, and with each of those, we have a set of widgets that can show, hide, and stack when you need them. So, I've told you about everything we wanted to achieve, but wouldn't it be great to see it in game? Does anybody here want to see a live demonstration?
Yes. No more talking. We're getting bored. I remember getting really bored in this section.
I was hoping you'd say that, otherwise it would have been a very short demo. Okay, so we're going to show you some of our new UI running live in the game.
Oh no, Bones on the computer.
Everything you see is in real time, but I have to tell you we've created a special mission just for the show, which is a little different to what you see in the live game. Okay, so as you can see, Bones driving.
What the fuck?
I'm going to say Bones' name a lot, and the other guys too, so
was this
it's probably the most times you'll hear that in any presentation.
Wait, was this black screen there during the event? I don't remember this.
Okay, welcome to the Orison Providence platform. You may have spotted it earlier, but today is the first time we've shown the new visor we developed and tested in Squadron 42.
21 by 9? No, dude. Look. Hold on. Where were we? We were at like 826. Look. It was normal. You see weapons, throwables, consumables. And then...
So, as you can see,
just
Bones
disappears.
driving.
Right in front of your eyes. Yeah, they literally
I'm going to say Bones' name a lot, and the other guys too.
They hide intentionally? They said that. Oh, I missed that. Okay. Why?
So, it's probably the most times you'll hear that in any presentation. Okay, welcome to the Orison Providence platform. You may have spotted it earlier, but today is the first time we've shown the new visor we developed and tested in Squadron 42. But you'll be happy to know all the UI you see today is going to make its way to Star Citizen. But this is secret UEE Navy tech, so we'll give it a different look for the persistent universe. As you can see, the display is very clean by default. Many of the elements are contextual, meaning they appear when you need them to avoid cluttering the screen. We've also temporarily hidden a couple of things so we can focus on them later in this demo.
Okay, temporarily hidden so they can focus
please.
Later. There we go. He just said it.
Okay, when we get a new mission objective, it appears in the top right of the screen. And you can see that our first mission is...
It appears in the top right of the screen, but it also still appears in the middle.
To repair a radiation leak. We've done a major overhaul of the augmented reality marker system, so we can follow the yellow on-screen marker to get to our objective. At the top of the screen, you'll also see the compass.
Yeah, middle's notification,
okay,
but at the same time, if it disappears up here, isn't this just a notification?
Let's head towards the objective.
Same concept. They both disappeared at the same time.
We were already happy with the way the player status widgets worked. showing you contextual information about your character and environment. So we've given them some visual polish and added a few new ones. The environmental radiation here is quite high, and over time it will wear down our suit and damage the player. Looks like we can see the source of the radiation there. I think somebody's damaged a pipe, so how are we going to fix it? If we were in space, we could use a salvage and repair ship. Luckily, the UEE have some advanced portable tech. Bone, please equip the military multi-tool. The military multi-tool from Squadron 42 has various modes, one of which gives us the ability to salvage and repair while on foot. Okay, Bone, let's use the multi-tool to repair that pipe.
All right, Bone did a good job there. Bone's got us.
Okay. Right, we can see at the bottom left of the screen, the radiation levels are decreasing.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I'm in the way of the screen, so I don't know where to be for this. Bottom middle, maybe. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to go away. We'll go back because I think it's sort of cool that the radiation is like, when this hole is exposed, the radiation is actually hitting the player, and then the moment you cover it, it instantly started going down.
Right, we can see at the bottom left of the screen, the radiation levels are decreasing.
It's kind of cool.
Let's head into the scene.
So I don't know if it's real or not, but it seemed pretty real, I guess.
Go on, Bone.
Because it seems like a simple thing, but it's also, the game has to recognize, you know?
Okay. Now we fix the damage, we need to find the enemies that caused it. While we're on the way, you'll notice that the on-foot emissions at the top of the screen. We're emitting infrared, electromagnetic radiation, and also sound. If any of these go higher than the background levels, it will be easier for the enemies to detect us. Let's take a look at the bad guys, Bone. As part of the emissions and radar tech, we also have the ability to scan while we're on foot. If we tap the button, we can do a quick scan to reveal everything, to reveal info about anything that's in our view currently. Okay, Bone, let's do a quick scan. This highlights whatever's in our line of sight.
Here, what if I just do this?
There's also some risk and reward to the scanning system. By holding the button, we can charge our scanner, and this reveals enemies through walls using a more powerful wave. But it does cause a spike in our emissions, which makes us easier to detect. Okay, let's do a charge scan, please, Bone.
Is that better? Just do the CitizenCon thing?
Okay. We can also see the augmented reality box outs, which give us...
So I think this is like sort of their... We knew they were going to do a pretty fake demo of stealth. The fact that like these guys didn't see him or whatever.
A summary of what we've detected.
No, I don't want to use the react.
Have a look at our weapons.
It'll make the UI even smaller.
Let's get the gun out, please, Bone. Okay, we wanted to help the player see their equipment during combat, so we upgraded the weapons display. As well as the ammo in the gun and the spare mags in their pockets, we also now show the player's explosives and med pens.
Okay.
Okay, let's fight the bad guy.
When they swapped, the gun showed for a second there and then disappeared. But so it's kind of weird to do that. I wouldn't do that.
Guys.
The gun's on the screen.
There you can see our new explosives marker, designed to help you spot deadly grenades, mines, and missiles more easily.
I got you covered.
He's got one bullet left.
You do it? Okay. Well done, Bone.
I just heard him turn on the torch. When he was trying to hit R, he accidentally hit T. Get him, Bone.
Success. Okay. There's no more hostiles nearby, so let's take a moment to talk about the Mobi-Glass. The Mobi-Glass is the Star Citizen equivalent of your smartphone. It has various apps that hook into the gameplay systems.
I don't know, man. I think that this is, like, somebody said that a lot of other reactors were saying the gameplay is like a 90s game. I mean, they're just showing a technical demo to show a UI here. I don't think the entire game plays like a 90s game or anything. The stealth mechanic, which is something they've been pushing for like so long and haven't ever achieved, is like, yeah, one element of that, right? But there's so many other things in the game, right? I don't really get where that mentality is coming from.
Like all the UI we're showing you today, we wanted to redesign it with the player's usability in mind, to make it look good and also lay the groundwork for future expansion. Let's bring up the Mobi-Glass, please, Bone.
Oh, let's pause. Now that we can pause, I'll sneak over here. You have notifications that have popped up. That's probably one of the biggest improvements. Oh, I missed that notification. You open your Mobi-Glass, and the last three are right here. So that's pretty smart. You got your just levels for things. And then I'm not sure what connections are. This is like internet connection, which is weird. Home, logs, personal status, message, missing matter, Starmap, and Galactopedia. These are all Squadron 42 things. You think this is voice comms? Ah, yeah, good point, maybe. And then are these ordinances for your ship? Because the Anvil Carrack is like a big... I think this is your connection to the ship because it's in the box of your ship. Yeah. Maybe remote controlling it, maybe calling it, like talking to people on it. I don't know. That's interesting. That's one of the more interesting things.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, so you're seeing all the ship's stats.
We've redesigned the interface to give a smoother user experience. We've overhauled the visuals.
And I guess we'll keep an eye on this icon here in specifics and see if it shows up anywhere else that would represent, like, bring the ship to me, you know?
As you can see, to make it feel more three-dimensional and holographic. This is actually a sneak peek of the UEE military Mobi-Glass we've created for Squadron 42. This version has a focused selection of apps, and we're going to expand on that when we bring the Mobi-Glass to the Star Citizen Persistent universe. We'll also have more of a smartphone feel in the PU with a wider range of apps.
Maybe a drop-down? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, let's briefly talk about this home screen. It gives us an overview of our health, the environment, and even our ship. We can also check our mission objective. Okay, so that's enough about the Mobi-Glass. We've got some more really cool UI just around the corner. And to tell you a bit more about that is the very talented Zane Bien.
All right, and the thing about this is all very squadron focused and something that, unless they've been doing the PU Mobi-Glass as well, but weren't comfortable showing us any of it, it seems like we're a little ways away. Yeah, Tommy, that would be cool. So Tommy said the globe button that was here before Zane comes on, that this maybe will, like, find our ship on the star map, something like that.
Throughout human history, as we have ventured towards the allure of the unknown, We have used cartography as a key component to help shape our understanding and make sense of the world around us.
A TED Talk.
Without these systems in place to catalog our experiences and to chart our journeys, we are forever lost amidst our own environment, and we are just running around aimlessly. This is why it is super important that you, as citizens of our ever-growing,
Bro, who the fuck changed their name to Bone Zone Enjoyer?
ever-evolving
Somebody just
persistent
change your name to
universe
Bone Zone
are
Enjoyer.
equipped with the tools necessary
No
to
way.
make your ventures meaningful. So, with that said, I want to show you something that I think is extremely cool. So, Bone, our next objective is to go to the map kiosk and download a terminal.
This, I think, I keep forgetting about how cool this is that you don't have a map until you've downloaded one. You don't have a map until you've made one yourself.
Let's go ahead and activate it. What you see on screen
is nothing, because Bone didn't turn off his thing. He didn't turn off his light. We've all been there, so it makes it funny, but yeah. You have view map, more info, and download map. Marker database is still there for some reason, and it tells you where you are.
Zoom out a bit. What you see on screen is a fully live 3D representation of the environment.
And that's one of the ships that fly you, like the trolleys or whatever that fly you around.
That we are in.
Also, I don't know if you could see, there's like a time here. That's time. Time's never existed in the game before. Yeah. So there might be like a universal time. Or local? Yeah, CIG invented time.
You can see callouts of the various default points of interest. You can pan the map around, you can rotate it, and you can even cycle the floors that you're on to isolate the visuals of the floor that you're on. So
there's always been universe time. It's in display info. Oh, true. Yeah.
Objective. It's much
star time.
Much more interesting.
Star
if we
claw,
can actually take
star
this
hair,
on the
star
go.
time.
So let's download it to our data bank.
Yeah, this was like, no way. What
As
a
you'll
moment.
notice, we now have the representation of the environment in the upper left corner of our visor.
This was a big moment. Because obviously it's no big deal to have Orison in your map, right? But to know what the potential is of, like, maybe not knowing how to get to Grimhex, maybe not knowing places in Pyro and needing to create these or download them or find them on an NPC, it's like the universe is big and unexplored, and then all of a sudden you just opened up exploration for the entire player base with one simple change, right? One simple change, and exploration now exists in some capacity. Maybe not the capacity that everybody would have liked. We're not charting jump points or anything, but one simple change, and you kill an NPC, like a Ninetales NPC, and they have like a little chit or something like that you could download, and then all of a sudden you have a new mission or a new place to go, right? Pretty wild.
Now, the thing that's really interesting to note at this point is not all environments will have such a convenient kiosk available.
I'm just happy to know which way is north.
You may encounter run-down settlements, or you might come across a cave that no one else has ever set foot on before. What will happen in this instance is your radar will incrementally update your map, and it will incrementally reveal your environment and just save that to your databank. So you
Fog
kind of
of war.
reveal it incrementally. So this map, what we see in the upper left corner of our visor is not really just a map. What it really is actually data. It's our radar. And we can see contacts on our radar as we scan. And it's basically what we have available in stored in our data bank. So,
what about orbital scanning large areas, though? Relax, man.
Because we have the location data saved to our data bank, we can obviously access that via our mobiGlas.
Okay,
so let's go ahead and pull it up in our mobiGlas.
I need to just change scenes for a second so you can see the new emote that people are starting to spam. 1 second. Just so if I put this up on YouTube.
So Bone, I would like you to cycle between the
Bone
different floors
W
for us, please. So you can see this slurping transition between the different floors and marker callouts of our objective and also where we are. I would like to talk a little bit about the tech behind this. What you're seeing is not a pre-baked asset. And I want to reiterate that because all of our environments can be very dynamic and they can change. They can take damage. Perhaps economic shifts might cause changes in the environment.
Yeah,
and
I talked about this.
Export.
I'm not buying that being a change without quantum economy kind of thing. So that was like always one of the pillars of the quantum economy, and like what made it super cool was that if, let's say, Orison really started to struggle for whatever reason, the location would actually change and things would get more run down and broken and spray paint and look, there might be new NPCs there. That's what they always said. That sounds like crazy. That doesn't seem real or a reality or anything that could be possible given where we are right now. So I don't know why he's bringing that up too much, but I guess the idea of building this system out now for the future is the reason for pointing that out.
Totally custom assets. So what we've done is we collaborated with our graphics team to enable us to render the environment in this way. And what it is we're actually whitelisting objects that we render and excluding everything that we don't need to render. So in our level markup, we basically have the designers and artists mark up only the bits that are necessary for the map. This lets us have a very compelling visual, but without much of the cost.
They've not talked about org economies. No, not really.
I think what we can do at this point, what I want to show you is something very interesting. So we might look around on this map and note down certain areas that might look interesting that we might want to revisit later. We can see some...
I think the whole room got silent when they were like, do you mean I can place a marker? And you can see up top, marker database.
Doors on this map. And
you can hear them start to chatter.
These doors are entities that are called out on the map, and they may change state. So there can be some doors which have a locked state, which they will display red. And doors that are open will be green. And there are other entity callouts that can happen in our map. So let's go ahead and find a location to put down a pin, please, Bone.
Pin, please, Bone. Bone?
Maybe that one. Maybe that door looks interesting. Press T. So, what we can do is set a marker, and we can customize the details of that marker. Now, what you'll notice as well is as we set markers, there's metadata that is encoded into each of these markers on top of the customized name that we can specify.
All I'm hoping is that you can then also mark a cargo box, a salvage ship, a mineable rock, a weapon, yeah, like, and then it has that information. No, Broken. Everything that they're showing, that they're reposting on their YouTube channel from the event. Nothing was not at the event.
We can mark as many markers as we want in this map. And
that's
these
what I'm
are
hoping. I don't know if it's
saved
possible.
to our data bank. And we can eventually share these markers and even sell these markers on the market.
Yeah, and the key word is eventually. So I don't want to get super excited about this because that doesn't sound like something that's in the cards right now. And this is, again, where if you don't listen to literally one word, you miss the whole thing, right? And I'm not entirely sure that there's just going to be a system where I place a marker down and I'm going to be able to sell it to somebody right away. But I certainly hope so. I mean, one of the things that the UI team or some team needs to go through and really update is the MoTrader app, right? We can currently trade money. We have no list of our transactions, and we can only trade money. So what is the next thing you would like to trade? The next thing I would like to trade is, first off, a trade window with a map icon and on one side and how much somebody's paying for it on the other. Right? I actually don't think commodities should be the next thing because I don't think we're going to be crafting before we get markers, right? So markers is the next thing that should be tradable, I think, and there should be a trade window on either side.
So the thing about this, we can't really talk about markers.
I mean, we need an auction house too.
Without
100%.
mentioning data running.
Yeah, the TDDs need to feel like he's saying data running and things, right? Like we need this. So
you might specialize in exploration, whereas perhaps a miner might specialize in the equipment, and they make investments in their equipment. So you, as an explorer, might be in the business of going around and exploring and finding locations that are very valuable to other professions. And the role of these markers are very important in coming up with the data and
he's stumbling, but this is it for a lot of people, right? What he's saying and what he's trying to say, I think we all know, is that these markers are going to have the data. Yeah, exactly. Like go ahead and copy and paste what Hero Brian is saying in chat. I know people that are seeing this on YouTube can't see it. It says location of quantum deposit, selling 25K, limited time offer. Just spamming Gen Chat, right? Which isn't that what MMOs are all about, right? Having a Gen Chat and spamming the hell out of it, selling.
Yeah, so it's very important. We can basically, when you name your markers, you can make it as maybe obvious, or you can leave it a mystery. So you'll have, when you sell it on the market, you could get rated for how accurate the data is.
Now, so that's the only thing that I'm going to go ahead and say I don't like the design of that. So it sounds like the idea is naming it is the way, and I think I see where they're going here, right? Who rates the raider? The person who bought it. But so you'll name it Quantanium, Quantanium 100K mass 30% or something like that, right? And then you'll go there and you'll get attacked by pirate and there's no Quantanium there. I feel like, I guess break my idea apart, rip it apart, because I'm sure there's some flaw here. But don't you feel like maybe the name should be one thing, but when you open the marker, you get the data, right? So like for me, if I like open it in my map, I should get the data that's on screen, not just the location it's at, maybe. But then again, that's too much information, and you wouldn't go there if you knew the Quantanium wasn't there, right? So that's where I'm like, rip this apart, because it's probably not a good idea. Because part of me thinks that, like a mineable needs to have the data of what's there. Otherwise, you just got to trust me, bro. There's a little too much trust me, bro, in this info running, is basically what I'm saying. Well, the metadata that they're showing is the location, right? But it just comes down to how much of that metadata do they want to show. They have it, but he also is making it sound like, well, how will a pirate be able to use this if all the data is there? Right? So we want there to be this risk, and then, yeah, maybe it just comes down to reputation, right? I don't know. I love the idea, and I love the conversation we can have around this. I love I guess it's Waze for SC, if you guys are familiar with the app Waze. It tells you like where there's cops on the highway, so you slow down. The amount of, if it's too much information, then you just won't ever get tricked. Right? Rep or pirates use legit data but wait in ambush. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, that's kind of where I maybe would want it to be, because the risk can still be there, right? Maybe you could falsify data by hacking or something. That would be a good thing. Like, I just think that the way he's explaining it, of like, I have to write the title myself and try and trick you guys, isn't really what I think should be there. I think it should just be setting traps. Like, the data should be there and be like, whoa, this thing is awesome. The ship is filled with good stuff. I'm going to go salvage that. And then, Ninetales jumps you or something. I think that's probably a better choice, because I think when you you shouldn't know what's in there when you buy it. But the moment you open it and put it in your Mobiglass, you should have all the data in front of you of what you're getting into. So you know what to prepare for, right? And because, like, let's use mining as an example here in this situation. If I was to go mining, just knowing that it's a Quantanium rock that's 25% and 100K mass isn't telling me what gear I would need to bring, because I don't know what the other material is. I don't know what the resistance is. I don't know what the instability is. I don't know what gear I need to bring with me to break that rock. So if you have all the data in front of you, you could prepare for what you want to do, right? If I don't know what components are maybe on the ship that I'm salvaging, then I won't know what to bring with or whatever. So that's sort of what I'm thinking there. And then if you want to pirate, you could still pirate. It doesn't take that away. And then the rating system can still exist, and so on and so forth, right? So I think that it still allows for pirating, and it still allows for trickery, but the data is going to be more reliable, so players are going to actually go to those things and at least be somewhat prepared, right? The risk and reward is whether or not the guy scammed you. It's whether or not you're going to get jumped at the location, right? But again, this is why I'm asking you guys, do we want to allow for just straight up scamming? It is Star Citizen. We might as well, right? So maybe, it's up. I think some people are going to say yes, Charge more money for more detailed data? Maybe. Like we can add layers onto it, which would be cool, but I don't know. Maybe it should mine the rock for you. What the fuck is this take? Brother, that is not a good first time chat. That's all I'm going to say. Do you play the game? Having a little bit of data about like what the instability of the rock is doesn't mine the rock for you. Like it's still not easy. Good one, by the way.
So the other thing is we have a mission objective as well. And
what the fuck is the take of me having to actually write it out? That's ridiculous.
It would be very nice to be able to route to that mission objective.
I don't want automated
How
everything.
do we get
I just want the fucking
that
data
is
of a rock
The
there.
purpose of the map is basically navigating and letting us know the way.
I'm getting one guide, but I don't care. Emerging gameplay, by the way. How does this stop emerging gameplay? By just letting me know the information of what's in a fucking mineable rock. Holy shit. Are you literally just trying to troll? Like, I don't get what this is. This is so stupid. How does that change anything? Brother, if you just know the information of a rock, you're still going to go there and you could get jumped. Or you could not get jumped. Or you could be competing over that rock with somebody else. Like, all the emerging gameplay could still exist.
Towards that objective, towards a destination.
Who am I yelling
So let's
at?
go ahead and plot a route to this objective.
All the options still exist, except for scamming. But the scamming option still exists because you can't see the information until you've already purchased it and have it in your own MobiGlass. So all the scamming still exists.
So we can see a line being drawn from where we are.
Also, this is
up
incredible.
The stairs to our destination and where we want to go. So you'll no longer be lost amidst all of our super complex environments. And what's worth mentioning at this point,
people clapping for
really
a basic
cool
feature. Yeah, you must be new to Star Citizen. Like when you wait 10 years for the most basic features, you clap. You clap, and you clap a lot. You might even whistle.
Is this under the hood is actually utilizing another piece of tech, AI pathfinding. And so what that allows us
this isn't
to do
basic.
is leverage.
Maybe from like a gameplay design, but it is basic from like we have this in other video games.
Other existing tech.
We have a line that we follow,
To basically, it does all the heavy lifting. We just make it look pretty. So because of that, there are certain cases where the path might be blocked. It might have a locked door, or there might be a fire that is in our way.
Thanks, Monkey.
The AI pathfinding will account for that. It will go through doors, it will handle elevators, and it will handle fires, locked doors, and it will just handle everything.
Yeah, it
So
avoids
that
all
is
sorts
an
of bad
example
stuff.
Of sort of a piece of tech that we've leveraged under the hood to help us achieve this goal.
Yeah, because the AI would avoid the fire, right? So then, since we're using what an AI path would go, we avoid the fire as well, just automatically, which is pretty smart.
So,
it's a
One
lot more
last
than
thing
just
we
a
can do-
map. When somebody comes in the chat and says clapping for basic things, you do not need to put your game developer hat on, chat, and be like, it's not basic, this is really difficult, this is so hard, because nobody gives a shit how the game is made. Or a lot of people don't, okay? A lot of people come and go, when do I get to play this game? When do I have this thing? That's all they care about. And you guys are coming in here pushing up your glasses and shitting on somebody who just wants to play a video game. Right? Like, I don't understand. You've been following this game for 10 years that our whole mind is skewed into you're not even following a game, you're part of the game development process or something. No. You know, you backed for a video game, and a lot of people that are going to be coming in now, and you guys, I think the Star Citizen community needs to calm the fuck down, because guess what? We're mainstream now. We're mainstream. Okay? So now people that play normal video games are coming in, and they're going to go, the fuck is this shit, when they play. Okay? And you don't need to go in and start doing the you don't understand game development, because they don't want to understand game development. They just want to play a game. So they need to, you know, you need to respect where they're coming from, which is being normal, and that we aren't normal. The people who've been following the game for 10 years, the majority of people that are going to be coming to the game from this point forward are normal people that just want to play a video game. So please don't put down people who look at this and go, yeah, that's in Witcher 3, or that's in, you know, whatever game, other game I play. I don't know what game, you know, but because I've only been following this because I'm not normal. But the idea of you guys putting people down who are just Normans, like, you're not cool, right? You're not cool.
Do at the moment is we want to ensure that there are no more hostiles in our way as we make our way to our objective. So what we can do is we can send out a ping. Bone, if you send out a ping, please.
Bone?
So the scanning will also be represented in the map in the same fashion as it is when you're in FPS. So
that's pretty impressive,
we know that
but it got
there's no
fucked
more
up, right?
hostiles. Let's go ahead and make our way to our objective.
I think Level Cap, when we watched this, was really disappointed that the arrow wasn't on the ground. Like the line, we didn't follow the line on the ground. You just followed it top left. How do you guys feel about that? I think if we had the yellow line on the ground, I think it might be a bit much. I think top left's fine. It allows you to learn the locations yourself, but if you ever get lost, you have the opportunity to look top left.
So you can
Maybe he was glad about it? Yeah, I don't know. I just remember him mentioning it.
see in the upper left corner, we now have the route line represented, our destination, and the distance it takes to get there. As we traverse this path, the path automatically updates, and if you deviate from that path, it will recalculate the route you need to get to your destination.
This was pretty cool too. Right? So like that was very simple, but in the future, if you take like a bigger turn away, it'll be really helpful for us.
So there's our buddy. He's flying in. So we'll make our way up to the Carrack here, to the right. You'll also notice the pin that we've laid down, as well as
You've seen where you can scan and it shows up temporarily on the ground in front of you? That would be kind of cool.
our marker objective called out on the map. And as you'll notice, as we head up the stairs,
Oh no,
the
Voodoo.
floor will dynamically change as you head up the stairs. If we can get past this first bit,
Bone!
we don't trip up.
Fucking force reactions, dude.
So as we make our way into the Carrack, it's not just environments or caves or cities. We can represent the ship on our interior map. And it's totally seamless as you transition between the two. So let's go ahead and pull up our Mobiglass again and get a wider view of our ship.
Super cool, right?
So we are now on the technical deck, but we can also see the other floors. If you
Also, like, take a second to appreciate how ridiculously big this ship is. Like, it doesn't always feel it when you're in. But this map is like, wow, the detail of this ship is pretty wild.
traverse the floors,
Like, obviously, this isn't a basic feature, right? But again, I think everybody was clapping for a yellow line on a map. That's what that person was talking about. So calm down.
Just to demonstrate it. Here's our cartography deck. Down one. And our habitation deck. So you will have noticed from a previous presentation that this was very similar looking, right? It's utilizing our tech. So not only will this benefit you as a player, but it also benefits us as developers, because we generalize this system so that other developers can leverage our map to create compelling gameplay.
And he's referring to the engineering panel, which is really cool, right? They just used this and created a whole engineering gameplay system with it. Pretty sick, right?
So other teams can leverage our tech, and we leverage the tech from other teams, and it's a circle of life. And I think that's just too cool.
It's the circle of life, everyone. The circle of life. And when he said this, I think I said it on the live stream, it's really felt like for a really long time that teams were really working like by themselves and not working together as much. Maybe, I don't know, we have a lot of mission devs that are here, and it always seems like they're just waiting for somebody else, and they're kind of stuck on an island by themselves. So maybe it feels that way. But this year, more than ever, it feels like everybody's starting to work towards common goals now, which is really, really nice, right? Yeah, it feels like everybody's siloed. That's a good way of putting it. And it feels like this year we're getting teams that are working together and doing bigger things that require everybody to work on. So, yeah. I'm taking crazy pills. Did you notice the removed drone room component repair room? And they're now called server rooms. I mean, it all might be, whatchamacallit. It might just be temporary or whatever, but I did see that as well.
So
you can see them on the screen right here. Server room. But it might just be, like, just writing it in for now. But who knows? Maybe they changed something. Could be a variant. Could be anything.
We've been talking about environments.
Very
cities.
Sus.
Representing ships on our map.
Is that Reezer?
Maybe planet terrain.
Yes.
These are quite, I mean, our universe is quite big, right? That's only a small fraction of what our universe is. What happens? Have we tried this? What happens if we just take your mouse wheel and just zoom out a little bit?
What if?
Keep going.
Oh my God, he takes so long to zoom out.
Keep zooming out, all the way out, all the way out. Let's go. So, it's not just the interior map, it's not just the radar, it is the map. It is one single unified system just across different scales. And I want, at this point, we are above Crusader, and at this point I want to invite Emily Hansen onto the stage to talk about the map as seen at this scale. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hello, CitizenCon! Are you ready for this?
Honestly, I was, and then at the end, this is where I was most disappointed from this. This was actually my most disappointing part of the demo. Everything before it was awesome. Why? I'll talk about it. Let's just watch.
Brian, do you want to click on the marker? As you all suspected, this is the Starmap.
I mean, I guess I'll talk about it right now. This holographic dog shit. right? I can't stand the fact that everything has to be see-through and holographic. When I played Starfield, and it was none of that, right? So Starfield, the one thing that I would take from Starfield and put into Star Citizen is just the visual nature of the star map. It was just colored nicely. There was color. There was life. When I open this, there's no life. It's just dead. And I don't like that, right? Like, this is a beautiful gas giant with bacon-like colors. And there's so many other places that it's like, when I'm looking at this, I think that the visuals could have been better and you can see more details. That's it. That is the only thing I'm disappointed in, by the way. Visually, I was really disappointed. I understand the hollow maybe with the other, with the ground, but I would like more color and more life or more or less opacity or whatever, right? That's how I feel about it.
I'm so excited to be here today to reveal this to you all.
What do you mean, why so small? It's the whole screen.
Now,
it is projected from the Mobi-Glass, but like, it's 1,000 years in the future. You can't project color? Like, what the fuck? Right? There's red right here. And then, yeah, obviously it's missing data, but I'm okay with that. I'm more just my personal preference. I really loved the way
the current
star map looked.
Needed a bit of work.
And
Starfield. We've done that. Now, mapping the universe is no easy task, but we've taken some big steps forward with this upgrade.
Disagree, you like it?
To make
hey,
it
that's
so
fine.
much easier
I'm not going to hate on you.
To navigate the stars.
I'm just sharing my opinion.
Before we dive into the details, let's just take a second to admire Crusader's new look. Bone, why don't you take a look around? Much like the interior map, the star map is holographic.
Of course.
And this lets us add some cool interference effects and details to our planet textures. You can also see our improved player marker and that we're...
So this allows them to add interference effects. So that's how we're selling this. Okay.
Currently at Orison.
Maybe if
the
we get
player and
EMP'd?
location markers have merged at this scale because they're so close together. The player marker takes priority, which is why the marker displays the player icon and color. By smartly merging with bigger points of interest at larger scales, the player marker always remains visible to you. You'll always know where you are relative to points of interest near and far.
Hey, SaltEMike, have you seen that bigger creators like Asmongold are reacting to SC? You saying I'm a smaller creator than Asmongold? I'm going to disagree with that statement.
So, is everyone ready to see more?
Those are fighting words.
Bone, let's take the step back button. That's the one on the right over here.
Yeah, who's Asmongold?
Take a look at Crusader and all of its moons.
I like the detail when we start seeing the locations and that okay, this is Yella, that's Daymar, I think it's a little bit better. It's a lot better when we zoom out.
So here we are, Crusader.
The information
moons,
we have on the map.
You can also see that labels have received a major visual update. They're now fully 3D, and this gives them a really cool perspective. Most labels are aligned to the galactic plane, and they rotate with the map. Bone, give the map a spin. Bone, can you tilt past the horizon, please? Cool. When we do this, the labels flip so you can always read them clearly.
Oh yeah, that was super cool too. I forgot about that.
Labels for city markers and outposts work a little bit differently. Bone, let's double-click on Selin now to focus on it.
The single best change was this. Right?
Surface labels face the camera and appear when they're in the central part of the planet, reducing on-screen clutter. Bone, want to show this in action?
You can't see anything? It's that when you're facing Terra Mills shows up, but when you're not facing it, you know it's on the other side, but you don't see it. And then you got the Comrade. This is Security Post Korea. It has a different icon. It's a square. All right, Monkey, be good.
Markers on the far side of the planet fade out, so they don't take focus from the locations you currently care more about on the near side of the planet. Bone, can you double-click on one of the points of interest?
Right, that's nice.
As we selected this marker, its label will stay visible at all angles.
Ah,
So
we
far,
like that.
we've showed you that you can use buttons and double-clicking to jump to
So if you select it, it's always going to be lit up, so you're always going to be able to see it. I like
objects
that
you're
too.
interested in. But wouldn't it be nice if you could also freely zoom out and into locations? Shall we try it, Bone? Let's zoom out until we can see Crusader.
Oh no, this is when he zoomed out really slow, I think, right? No?
We wanted to ensure you have freedom to move around, but this flexibility requires us to be really careful about how and when markers appear. Markers need to disappear when they get too small, but also stay visible when they're still relevant to your view. This isn't simple because objects in a solar system are vastly different sizes. Think about the size of a star versus a planet versus you, the player. You're kind of small compared to a star, right? Our solution is a technique we call cosmetic scaling. This allows us to draw a marker at its real size when we are close to it and artificially increase its size as we zoom out until we reach the point where it collapses into larger points of interest in the hierarchy. You can see this in action here. There's no way Crusader and its moons are this size at this scale in reality. They've been scaled up massively so you can see them. Bone, let's zoom out a bit more so we can see the moons disappear.
Okay. I never noticed that.
You can also start to see Crusader's orbit line around the sun here. But before we go back to before we move on to that, let's zoom back in so we can see everything come back as we get closer.
Nice. That's pretty smooth. And no more
As well
being
as
forced
zoom,
to double
you can
click.
also pan around the map unrestricted. Bone, feel free to have a quick look around.
Oh yeah, he gets lost.
As we draw closer to a marker, the cursor automatically magnetizes to it. This ensures you never lose track of what you're trying to view when you zoom in. No more zooming in on empty space.
Yeah, that's probably top
Bone,
3 change.
Let's use this technique to take a
The
closer look at
magnetism?
Yela. The magnetic cursor does not require us to click on markers.
Yeah.
Keep zooming in. Bone, can you keep zooming in?
Bone.
Thank you. You can see that the surface markers appear without us needing to select Yela itself. Imagine how much easier finding that outpost will be now. Crusader, as you all know, isn't all there is, though. We've got a pretty big universe out here. Do you want to see some more? Let's have a look at a location further afield. Can we just pan to Calliope, maybe? Bone, let's give that a try.
Oh, this is where he gets lost. Yeah, that's how I'm going to go with it, Void.
Yeah.
This feels like a Starmap
I think
update,
we're getting lost.
not an overhaul.
Pretty sure we can all disagree this might not be the best strategy. So what can we do? Bone, let's try clicking on the middle button over here.
Yeah, I just
This
realized how
returns us
scripted
to our
this was.
previously selected marker. As I mentioned, we did not select Yela, so we've gone back to Selin. So now we know where we are. That's a step in the right direction, but we're still not at Calliope. So we need to find a different way. Bone, could you use the step back button until we can see that?
Yeah, can we remove the grid from the planet? Maybe that would make me hate this less. The grid going through the planet, I fucking hate.
The whole solar system.
Everywhere else is fine. But the fact that it's going through the planets, I can't stand that.
There it is. I think Calliope is one of Microtech's moons. So if we double click on that bone, we should be able to see it.
Yeah, no
And
Aaron's
there it
Halo.
is. Bone, let's pan to it and then zoom in so we can see that magnetic cursor in action again.
Yeah, it's
Can you
pretty
zoom
good.
in, Bone? Thank you.
Zoom
It's
the
so cool to
fucking
see more of our
bone.
moons and planets and how different they all look. Okay, so this is great. But what if I hadn't already known where Calliope was? Surely there's a faster way. We've got you. We've provided a drop-down that lists the points of interest in the solar system. Bone, want to expand it now?
Yeah, the grid's killing me.
We're actively working on ways to improve the way this list is presented to you, to make it even easier to find what you're looking for. And yes, this will include search functionality.
Yeah, we need search.
But for now, Bone, let's use this to go to aerial.
Pretty good.
I absolutely love zooming around on this map. Bone, want to find area 18 for me?
Okay, but when? This is a feature that last year was promised by the end of this year.
So, area 18 is currently on the dark side of the planet, it seems. Of course, it's not just planets and moons. Bone, how about we take a look at Security Post Korea?
I don't know, though. Sounds like it's nowhere near done.
It's quite a long way down, isn't it? This is where the upcoming search will really come in useful. Bone, want to zoom in a little and show off our holographic model of this station?
Does it ever improve? I mean, is that...
Bone, can you also drop down again, please? Thank you. As you may have noticed, the recent list in the drop-down populates as you click on locations in the list. It will remember your 3 most recent selections, so you can use this to quickly return to places in case you want to check something else again. Bone, let's use this to go back to aerial.
Whoa! Clap!
Okay, so we've done a lot of exploring. I think it's time that we head back. We could do this by selecting Orison from the list, but we also have our own marker that we can take advantage of here. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that the player marker clamps to the edge of the map, keeping it visible to you no matter how far away you go. To get back to our position, we could double-click
I would buy that star map.
that marker, or we could click the first of the navigation buttons to zoom straight there. Now, I'm sure many of you have been wondering if we can go back to our Carrack map from the star map, just like how we got here from the Carrack map just a few minutes ago. So, let's see what happens when we focus on our player marker. Go ahead, Bone.
Pretty impressive.
All right. So yeah, here's our Carrack again. Being able to...
Most games do maps pretty bad, I think. And when the only complaint we have is the way it looks and it's not pretty enough, I think we're doing all right.
Simply zoom between these map contexts lets you draw meaningful connections between what's on the ground and what's in the skies like never before. Bone, just for fun, let's zoom all the way back out so we can see the entire Stanton solar system. It's just so cool to watch the verse open up before our eyes.
I like it.
With all these new possibilities for moving around the star map, you should never find yourself lost again. The controls are so much smoother and easier to use than the star map you're all used to, as I hope Bone agreed.
Yeah, how do we get lost with all this? You just have to know how to use it, but how the fuck would you get lost? It should be impossible now.
Knowing that what we've shown
We're
here
gonna
today
try, though.
is just the beginning for the upgraded star map. You saw pinning in the local map, and we'll add this to the star map before you get it. Just imagine being able to mark something interesting you find out there in the verse and then sharing that location with friends, just like Zane said.
Okay.
Exploration is about to get a lot more interesting, and we're doing everything we can to ensure the star map is your brightest window to the stars yet.
I hope you're right. And then we all went, okay, when?
And now, let's welcome our intrepid demo driver, Bone, back to the stage.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks a lot. So we're really, really excited about getting all these features into your hands of the players of Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
In case you guys want more Bone, by the way, there's an Star Citizen Live SCL where there was an interview with him, and you hear about his whole history and everything. And I normally cannot stand the interviews with developers that have nothing to do with Star Citizen. This was literally the only one I enjoyed. He's a super interesting guy. Yes, he looks like Tim Cook, but he's really interesting.
We know they're going to make
I
a
highly
huge
suggest watching
difference to the way you make your way around the universe. So let's just quickly review what we've seen. We've rebuilt the visor display to give you a better understanding of the environment around you. With the new minimap, with the integrated radar and ping, and it will help you find your way around. There's a new Mobiglass coming with its sleek new design. We're improving
Hopefully.
all the existing
When?
apps, and we're going to develop some new ones too along the way.
Oh, yeah, look, no ship there, no objectives, no notifications this time.
So we've got a video now. And then there's our interior map technology, which will truly help you understand your surroundings. Better awareness of your surroundings and threats, exploring new and mapping new areas.
Wow, this is the Squadron 42 map with the boat. The Cutlass flew over this. I also think this is where that MSR commercial thing was as well, right?
Locations for later and sharing these with your friends.
That looked like a dam. The dam was right down there.
Oh, the Idris. That looks great.
The way they're snapping between the floors and stuff looks really good. Carrick again.
Some more of Orison.
Oh, the Carrick was over here. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty impressive.
And of course, our entirely new integrated star map with its new interface and, let's face it, a much needed refresh to the user experience. No more getting lost. A whole new perspective. With all these upcoming features, Where will you explore today? Thank you very much. Cheers.
The map that they were on did seem to be missing quite a few things there, but oh, wrong button. I'm in the wrong thing. There we go. The map did seem to be missing things like jump points, Iron Halo, and a few other things. So I wouldn't take the map that we were on as any representation of the game, but the functionality is absolutely there. Absolutely there. The visuals, I just didn't enjoy that much, and some of you guys seem to really like it, but I think if we remove the grids around the planets, that would improve it significantly. And I don't know. I want to bring a little more color, a little more life to each one. The planets are really beautiful, and they should be represented as beautiful in the star map. But that is such a nitpicky thing because there's really nothing to nitpick about the functionality, right? Is I just look at it and I feel like it's kind of ugly personally, but dude, everything works. It looked good. It was functional. The big conversation we had was about what information a marker should give us if we place it on a certain thing. I think that would be pretty cool. And then outside of that, I'm happy. It's one of the first times they put function over form. So can we really complain? I don't think so.